If you need an apology from the other person, you're not ready for that conversation. Immediately, I had a reaction because I agree with that. And I don't know if you do, but I want to try to convince you why I think it's true, what you can do to get yourself ready for a conversation like that, and why you would even want to have that conversation if you don't need the apology. I'm Stacey Rockline, and I'm on a mission to eradicate loneliness. And some of the places that it happens are in our disconnections, in our little relationship ruptures. So forgiveness is the subject of my upcoming book, and it's titled Forgive Without an Apology. So that probably tells you right there why I agree with this. When we get hurt, we have three different things that happen to us. One, we are harmed. Our feelings are hurt. Two, we get hooked. And this is the part where we need acknowledgement. We want an apology. We want them to say they were wrong, say they were sorry. And then we also are changed by it. Maybe that experience changes our behavior. We pull back a little bit. We become more guarded. We don't want to be as vulnerable. We lose confidence, or it changes the way we think about ourselves. Maybe we think we are not quite as worthy as we were before, and we will show up differently. So really serious hurt feelings do affect us in a lot of ways. And it's important that we deal with all of those things before we have a conversation like this. Because if you go in needing someone else to apologize for you to be okay, you are handing over all of your power. And I want you to feel self-empowered. I want to feel self-empowered. I want everybody to feel self-empowered. So we have to learn how to do forgiveness without an apology. Because unfortunately, we're not really great at apologies, and there's a really high likelihood that you're going to walk away unsatisfied. Someone's going to do it incorrectly. They're going to negate their apology by putting it back on you somehow. They won't even apologize at all. If you put all of that on them and they don't show up for you, it can actually make things worse than they already are. And apologies are amazing. This is another thing that's in my book, is how to do a good apology. Because if you've ever had someone do a sincere, heartfelt apology to you, it is so disarming. You immediately want to just put down your guard and move on. It's like magic in relationships, but we're not great at them collectively as a group, humans, and I think we can get a lot better at them. So forgiveness, how we think about that is really important, because when I say forgiveness, I do not mean you are making what they did okay, you're minimizing it, you're giving them permission to do the same thing in the future, even that you want to reconcile. None of that is forgiveness. Forgiveness is entirely for you. It's so that you are able to let go of those hurt feelings, to let go of that need for their acknowledgement and their apology that you might never get. And you're able to let go of all the ways it affected you and how you feel about yourself and the way you show up. It's really a letting go process, and it's entirely for you. This is all outlined in my upcoming book if you want to learn how to do this like a rock star. So let's say you're hurt, all of those things happen, your feelings are hurt, you're feeling a little hooked. You are definitely starting to think differently about how you should show up in a way that's minimizing your amazingness. So you go to the book, you read through the process, you take all the steps, and you're able to really forgive and release yourself. So now you're self-empowered. You have taken care of yourself. You have everything you need. You might still want to have a conversation with somebody about it. And something that's really, really important is that forgiveness and boundaries are like a couple. If something has happened that has signaled your need to forgive somebody, probably you need to start thinking about a boundary too. And there are different levels of this. So the conversation that you might want to have with someone is really kind of all related to boundaries. Let's say that in the most severe case, that they have breached a boundary that you already set in place. You have previously asked them to do something or not do something. You've told them what you're going to do if it happens again. It happened again, and you feel that you need to communicate that you're going to follow through. That might be a reason to have that conversation. Maybe you need to put in a boundary. You now see a pattern or it's a very serious matter. And so you have to have a conversation with them about the boundary. And what that means is you're telling them, if this happens again, here's what I am going to do. It's all like you're in the power seat in these conversations. You are the action taker. You can't affect somebody else's actions or reactions. You're only in charge of yourself. So you can affect the action you're going to take and the way you're going to react in situations. So that might be what you need to communicate. Maybe you have entered into new territory and there's been hurt feelings and it's not boundary time. That feels a little intense for the situation, but you do want to ask them to change their behavior. So you want to communicate that your feelings are hurt and you would like this to look different in the future. Again, you see, you don't need their apology. Now, if you get it, amazing. That's wonderful. So good for the relationship. But you've done all the processing and all the internal work on your own. So this is simply the actions that you need to take. Or in this case, I just suggested a request you're making for them. And the last way that you might want to communicate is that this is someone that you are very close to, you love deeply, you feel cared for in this relationship, but something has come up and your feelings have been hurt and you just really want to share them, because conflict, as difficult as it is such an opportunity for us to expose our tender parts to each other and let the person know, hey, like you've trespassed into some difficult territory for me, and this is why. And when we tell them that, they get to know us in a whole another level that we couldn't share, or maybe we wouldn't think to share unless we run into each other. So it really is a way to build intimacy. But it is so, so critical that first you manage your own stuff. So when you're hurt, go do the internal work required to walk yourself through that forgiveness process. If you don't have one, make sure that when my book comes out that you grab it. And to make sure you hear when that is, you can get onto my newsletter list that goes out weekly. And once you've taken care of yourself, you have nurtured yourself and you have brought yourself back to the state of equilibrium you're used to. Now you're ready to go have those conversations in those really important relationships and create more intimacy, better connections, and less loneliness. All right, good luck.